So I want to show you a presentation that we did this year at ICSI. ICSI is the best conference in software engineering. So it was super cool. And I thought, okay, you should get to know that because, in fact, we were not planning to work on that at all. And we discovered rotten green test and we were like mad. So this is a joint work with Julien Delplanque. And this is, it falls on him by accident. Guichet, Andrew Black, and Anne Etienne. So what is a rotten green test? So you know a test, huh? This is a test. Something that contains assertion, S-unit test, nothing new. You know what is a smoke test? This is a test that do not contain assertion. Okay? We will not talk about that at all. A rotten green test is a test that is green, it is passing, it contains at least one assertion, and one or more assertions are not executed when the test is run. So normally, I know that you are tired now, so you should say, what this guy is telling to me. Okay. That's a rotten green test. It passes, it is green, and I guarantee that the assertion will be never executed. Huh? Because false if true. So I use, it was for ICSI people, so I don't use the Smalltalk syntax. Everything that we did was in Smalltalk, so we were nice. So just to show you a real one, before lunch, this is always good. So this was a test. And you see, we have our lovely assertion here. And this test is not executed. And we were like, so Andrew told us, oh, there is a bug in this test. And you know, we were a bit stupid. We just pressed the button and said, it's green. What is the problem? It's green. It took us 3 years to realize that this guy was empty. So why that? Because the developer believed that when you pass result to the right stream, it will grow if you put something in the stream. So this means that he reuse result here, but result is empty. And you see, the problem is not the programmer's fault. This is the problem of the framework. Because if the runner would have said, I don't execute your test, your assertion, he would have fixed it. But right now, you know, there is no way that I know if my test is green, is rotten or not. So when this is green, I said, wow, it passes. But yes, but it does nothing. So this is super dangerous. So what I want to say is that rotten green tests, most of the time, they are not intentional. For me, this is not the programmer's fault. This is that the tool do not report them. So, you know, when we discovered that, we were like, what? How many of them do we have in our test suite? I want to know. So I said, Julien, can you take 2 weeks and build an analysis because I don't have the time? They wrote an abstract interpreter in 1 afternoon. And then we started. And then we discovered, okay, we try to be as fast as possible. You know what is really the problem behind them is that they give a false sense of security. Yes, this is green, or not. And that's why we started to say, okay, we need to change that completely. This is not possible that we continue. And they are mainly caused by conditional codes or iteration over empty structure. So the question was, how do we identify them? So we did several implementation. Okay, you see, let's try to see a bit. Because my test here does not contain an assertion, but he call a helper method, that is this one, and this one call another one that is doing an assertion. So this means that we have to deal with the fact that assert are invoked in other methods. And you see, I want to know when this guy, because this is a rotten green test, because this one is not executed. So that's the first thing that we have to take care. Okay? So we need to take into account the helper methods. Now this is a bit more complex than that, because if you look here, inside the same methods, I have an assert and I have an helper. So this means that if I just check, oh, assert has been executed, then I'm fucked up. Because if this one does not execute, I will not know it. So, of course, this is the mistake that we did. The first thing that we implemented, we said, yes, that's easy. Let's override assert and put a flag and count. And then we discovered that this is not enough. Huh? Let's look at it. You see, when I execute this one is executed, and this one is not. So that guy is not. So we should do a call site analysis. So the solution that we use for Faro, we mix a static analysis to find the helper. So this is an abstract interpreter. So that's basically a simple visitor that keep a stack and look for self supersend and all this stuff. And a dynamic analysis that identify all the call stack. This means that at runtime, how does it work? We will identify the testing primitive. So in Faro, we took assert, deny, and those kinds of things. We identify the helper method using this abstract interpreter. And then after, before we run a test, we will instrument the call site. And then we will, when we run the test, we record if each call site has been executed or not. So let's see on an example. So you see we have this. So we said, okay, what are the helpers? Okay, those guys, that's cool. And then after we look around and we said, oh, we have two assertions. So we will put a spy there. And then when we execute, we know, oh, this spy, during this execution of this method, this spy has not been executed. So this is a rotten green test. Okay, this is it. And then we did a lot of analysis. We took the complete library to check. In general, we got 1% of rotten green test. So I will show you a bit the results. And Julien, if I say something wrong, you can interrupt me, because. So we look at all the results and then we categorize them in 4 categories: missing fails, misskipped, complex dependent logic, and fully rotten. So the 2 last ones are a bit the same, but we didn't want it that people kick our paper because they said that we were trying to be in favor of our ideas. So we just said, pff. So you see here, for example, assert false. So this means that this assertion, when in this detect if known, the assertion will not be executed, which is probably normal. But the system tells us, okay, you have an assertion, it is not executing during the execution. So this one is easy. The guy used assert instead of just failed. So if you convert that to fail, because this is what he means, then for us that would be already a lot better. That's one false positive for us from that perspective. So what we did is that we just look and then we execute that. That's a more dangerous one. Because the assert is here, and the guy just said, well, okay. If I have this condition, I completely skip the execution and I want to do something else. Again, here it would be much better, and this is what we are doing, it's much better to say self-skip, because at least this is explicit, like that the tools can do something. And then we could say, oh, show me all the skipped tests. And so this is not the same, huh? So don't do that. Don't write code like that, because we cannot build tools to help you. So basically, we check those kinds of things and then we replace by skip. I think that for Faro 8 we should still finish, or I don't know what is the status, but it will be fixed. And And in the future, as soon as doctor test is introduced, probably next week, we will run systematically the rotten green test checker. So I want to show you a complex logic. That's a bit... This is not that the test is bad. Huh? This is that we find that. So this means that here we are in the, okay, if this is in SPUR, then we check for identity or we check for equality. And of course, this is a condition. So one of the other one will not be executed. This is basically what we find in Java code, because we are doing the same for Java. And in Java, it's easier. We can do a easier analysis because they don't have detect if none or things like that. People cannot create their own iterators as we do in our collections. So what we do is that in the Java analysis, we know, oh yes, we classify those one as a special kinds of false positive because they cannot go in both branches, so this is normal. So here, probably in the future, we will cut our test and create a separate context. Like that, it would be, we prefer to have that. But this is, that we have to check on a case-by-case situation. For the, yes, it's not very interesting. For the fully rotten test, the one that I showed you before, this was just a mistake from the programmer, so we fix it. This one is also fun, you know? We got some tests in Moose where the guy wrote that. It's like, yeah, but you know, I translate for the people that are in a low sugar mode. He said, okay, this expression should raise an error. And so I assert something, but I know that this expression will raise an error. So, well, okay, why do you expect that the assert will be executed then? It's fun. But again, the guy that wrote that never got any feedback. So it was green. You write it, this is green, okay, next. And you see, so I was like, okay, that's fun. I just want to finish with the most tricky one that we found. This is that in Pharo, we have the, for objects that would expect to act as Booleans but are not Booleans, the behind the scenes, some of the bytecode is rewritten at execution. So, and this is the test. And Dr. Test said, oh, this deny is not executed. And you go, you press the button, yes, it is. And the deny, the problem is that to understand what's happened, you have to put a breakpoint and then you have to go inside the HAL because the code that is executed is not related to that. It's a dynamic transformation of this code. And in fact, there was a bug in the dynamic transformation because it was losing the assertion. So this code is the same as this one, and there was no assertion because the transformation engine, when Marcus wrote it, he forgot. But again, you know, he pressed the button. You know, when Marcus saw that, I guess that 10 minutes later, we get a pull request. It's like, oh, let's fix it. And this is this notion of feedback. So for the fully rotten green test, what we should do, go over them and fix them and done. But it was really a surprise. So you have probably a rotten green test in your system and you don't know it. What we saw also is that in Java, for example, there are plenty of them. So this is not only a Smalltalk problem. We have also a Python implementation, which is different. It is a fully dynamic implementation that propagates the analysis. And we will release that also. So that's it. I wanted to share that with you because I found that fun.